Now, over the course of human history, it has been known that mushrooms have been cultivated for a variety of reasons. The two biggest ones are their medicinal and nutritional values. Now, both of us, or all of us, or most people know them for their nutritional values. Not many know them for their medicinal values, aside from a select few. But both of these lead into the religious uses that they have been come to religious values that they have been used for in different societies other than the U.S. For example, South Mexico and the Sierra Norte mountains of Oaxaca. A woman by the name of Maria Sabina sort of brought these mushrooms, or brought them to the Western scope, as they weren't well known until her introduction. Now, Maria Sabina was a religious shaman in the Sierra Norte mountains who used the psilocybin mushrooms to treat the people of her villages for a variety of reasons. Because of her introduction of psilocybin mushrooms, we are where we are today with their research. Now, psilocybin mushrooms are broken down in the body by removal of a phosphate group, which turns them into psilocin. Now, psilocin targets serotonin receptors in the brain and is an agonist of those receptors, much like nicotine is to acetylcholine receptors. Now, from there on, we don't know much about their involvement other than assumptions we can make about how serotonin is used in the body. Because there isn't a whole lot of research that has been done on psilocybin in terms of its physiological pathways. Now, this is because currently it is a U.S. Schedule I drug in the U.S., and is federally illegal in a multitude of countries around the world. Why is this? I am unsure, because a Schedule I drug is defined as a highly addictive and highly damaging drug to the body. From the research that has been conducted on psilocin and psilocybin, this does not seem to be the case. Now, only recently have its effects been researched because of this illegalization across the world. And even more recently, there have been states like Oregon and Colorado to legalize it in therapeutic settings, opening the doorway to a multitude of research opportunities. There have been some research has already been conducted in different parts of the world. For example, in 2020 at Aarhus University in Denmark, they measured the difference in expression of genes involved in neuroplasticity in the hippocampus and prefrontal cortex of rats. Now, from the study, they concluded that psilocybin rapidly induces the gene expression of proteins used in neuroplasticity, specifically more in the prefrontal cortex relative to the hippocampus. Now, this suggests that the use of psilocybin may help in the breaking of habits or the release of trauma by stopping certain neuronal pathways and creating new ones. Another study conducted in 2021 at Yale University in Connecticut measured the differences in mice nervous system structures before and after given doses of psilocybin. They found that, after the psilocybin use in these mice, they found that there was an increase in the density and size of frontal cortical pyramidal cells, and that its structure remodeling is persistent for at least 1 month. Now, this has the potential for providing structural trace for long-term integration of experiences and lasting beneficial actions. Psilocybin's use in neuroplasticity shows promise for its use in the treatment of chronic pain management. Currently, as mentioned before, a Schedule 1 drug is the main treatment of not only chronic pain, but depression and addiction. Addiction, right? Unfortunately, that Schedule 1 drug that is being used in the majority of those cases is not psilocybin and is instead different opioids. Granted, the opioids in there are prescribed by a doctor and only under certain or smaller doses, non-lethal doses, of course. But unfortunately, opioids are known to be highly addictive as they are Schedule 1 drugs, which can cause a tolerance and lead to dependence, of course. And then that tolerance can eventually lead to their death. As we all know, it's become a real problem in the world, and has ravaged communities and just completely torn apart families, all because somebody needed help with the pain of a surgery. As I mentioned before, this is a Schedule 1 drug and should be a Schedule 1 drug, unlike other Schedule 1 drugs that are not highly addictive, nor are they damaging to the body, possibly not damaging at all. Granted, there isn't enough research being done. Now, where there's little research creating a small sample size for the effects and potential benefits of psilocybin, the current sample shows promising results of its use in treating chronic pain, addiction, depression, and possible other diseases and detriments to the body.